Make the ground shake.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Kyle the Pug Podcast Show, episode number 8. This is the reboot of the podcast we did years ago, but however, we kind of had to stop, but now here we are back doing shows every single week for you guys. And before we get started with today's show, I just wanted to say, I wanted to give a huge shout out to, of course, my late best friend, the one, the only, the legendary Cowboy Nick, who used to do podcast shows, radio shows, TV, football and basketball games over at the community college when we did our thing together. And this week he would have been 32 years old. So he was actually born in the year 1988, the year that exactly the year I was born in. But he was 3 months older than me. So big shout out to you. Like I said, Cowboy Nick. If he was here right now, he would have definitely been enjoying this Kyle the Pug podcast. Would have been a part of it. And, of course, knowing him, his intro will be, "Hey, y'all, it's me, Cowboy Nick, Cowboy Nick. Don't de stop, Cowboy Nick, and we're here to have a good time. Yep, we're going to have a good time. Yeehaw!" So, brother, this is for you, man. From the bottom of my heart and my soul, I know you're watching. This is for you. This episode is dedicated to you. So, on that note, I am Kyle the Pug. If you guys didn't know that by now, well, what are you doing with your life? So, we have our usual co-host. Matt Man is dealing with some stuff. He'll be on here, I believe. He said right around 30 minutes or so. But Penguinator is here. He's on time, and he's not Noah J456. So what's up, man? What you been up to?
What up, bitches?
The usual Penguin self.
Yeah, not much. Just playing some old BO3 zombies.
You've been on that grind lately, so that's what you've definitely been up to.
Yeah, I miss BO3, so figured I'd pick it back up again for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I actually kind of do want to get back to the grind, though. Honestly, that would be actually super fun.
Yeah, the only two I haven't beaten, or excuse me, 3, because it didn't count my Gora Crovy because it crashed on me, so I got to go back through it. But I've beaten the others solo, except of course Shadows, because you have to have 4, and now I'm trying to beat Revelation solo.
Yeah, Shangri-La. I think that Shangri-La is probably the only one I haven't beaten yet so far.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd like the BO3. I beat it on Black Ops 1, but I don't think I've beaten the other ones on BO3, so I'll probably have to re-download that, and so that way we can do it sometime.
And it's hard to play these with randoms, especially if they don't know what to do.
Oh, that goes with every single multiplayer game. It's just like, yeah, because lately what I've been up to is I've actually been on the Splatoon 2 grind for Splatfest, and the thing is, with ranked matches, it's kind of dumb in a way, because you can't invite anybody, except for, league battles, where you have to reach, a certain rank to actually do league battles. I think it's, a B- or something, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So, ranked battles, you have to go in by yourself. You can't invite anybody. So, you have to be teamed up with randoms, which is kind of, a very challenging thing to do, which it's all worth it, though, but in a way, it's like when you win your battles, if you have good teammates, you actually can co-op and win battles, which would be pretty cool in a way. So, yeah, that's basically, what I've been up to, apart from, playing Animal Crossing, which I actually do have an update for Animal Crossing here when I get the chance to, but we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. But we're going to get to our question of the night for tonight's show, and our question of the night was we were supposed to record yesterday for Mother's Day, but obviously Mother's Day, it's a holiday. Like I said, it's kind of the Mother's Day. I hope you spent time with your mom. I really hope you guys did. Gave her something special, because without our moms, we wouldn't be here. So, on that note, our question of the night is, what did everyone do for Mother's Day? And everybody in the chat that's watching right now, or if you're watching this on YouTube on demand, you could definitely let me know what you did for Mother's Day. So, what did everybody do? That's what I want to know. So, Penguin, you want to chime in, man? What'd you do for your mom on Mother's Day?
We had dinner, and I got her a present, but of course with all the virus stuff, it's been delayed. But the present I got her is a teddy bear made out of red roses.
Aw, that's adorable. That is actually cute, though. So, did you let her know that it was coming, or are you trying to keep it like a surprise?
Nope, it's gonna be a surprise.
I got you. Okay, so, well, my initial plan for Mother's Day, I was gonna send, well, I was talking to my mom about this, but even though, she's like, well, it's okay. We could probably wait until her birthday. I was actually going to, send her a Tom Nook mug for if you don't know who Tom Nook is the infamous character on Animal Crossing. It's basically like a raccoonish like creature that is I would say a real estate investor. Is that the right word I'm using? I don't know what I'm saying, but like real estate investor, like you just give him a lot of bells basically just to pay off loans and all that. But yeah, my mom likes Tom Nook now. She knows who Tom Nook is. So I was gonna get her that, but there's like, oh, that's okay. You know, I mean, at least if you wanted to, if it were for like the coronavirus and all that, I would definitely like try to. She said hold on to it for like, because this is the funny story. My birthday is on the 6th of August, and my mom's birthday is on the 9th of August. So her birthday is like 3 days later, like apart from mine. So I'm definitely gonna try to get her a Tom Nook mug. Yeah, so
she's all thrilled.
No. She actually would like that though. That she was she would definitely be enjoying that too. But anyways, yeah, that's basically. Other than that, you know, not really of much of what I've been up to. But yeah. Anyways, let's get right to the news
so,
here.
Matt, what have you been up to? Oh wait.
Oh dang. Anyways, let's get right to the news here. So the big story I want to talk about. This is the big story that everybody's been discussing. It's the Last of Us 2. The trailer dropped, I think, what was it, Thursday or Friday? Last Friday?
Thursday, I think. Maybe.
Yeah,
Friday.
yeah, it was somewhere around there, and everybody is still, and this is going to be a show about, like, talking about spoilers, so just get ready for this. So, everybody is still speculating how it kind of spoils the story a little bit. I mean, I've seen the trailer, like, I don't really care about, like, you know, this, I mean, I do care for the story in a way, but not to the point of, like, oh, spoilers, like, okay, whatever. But it looks like it's gonna have some insane story to it, from what I've seen.
I haven't seen it yet, so I can't really chime in on the trailer.
I'm not gonna say too much. I can't even talk. Like, I'm not gonna say too much on what happened, but you'll love it. You'll definitely love the story for it. It's just, whew, man. Like, when I saw that, I was instantly hyped. I'm just gonna throw that out there. And I was saying with the spoilers, though, earlier, like, everybody is still like, oh, they shouldn't have never dropped this trailer because it contains story spoilers. And, I mean, I understand if you want to avoid spoilers, like, then just don't watch it, you know? Just wait until...
Yeah, don't watch the trailer.
Yeah, just wait until the game comes out, then you can experience it for yourself. And, I mean, every single time, this is just like with any single game, with, like, you know, Last of Us, you know, even multiplayer games, and even, you know, Nintendo stuff, too, for that matter. It's just... people will definitely complain, and we were talking about this over and over and over again. People will basically, excuse my language, they'll bitch and moan about everything, and that's a 100% fact. Like, even in a kid, well, not kid friendly, but like a family friendly, which is a more correct term, like, you know, Animal Crossing and all that. You know, they will still complain about certain stuff. It's ridiculous.
Yep. If you want it your way, make your own damn game.
I mean, if they have the audacity, if they have the mindset to it, you know, they can definitely make their own perfect game. I mean, heck, Ray the Rabbit's trying to make his own story into a, well, not just like a story though, but like a book into put it into a video game. Like that takes a lot of dedication. Ray's actually busting his butt off just to actually get something going there. Which he's been he's been successful though, don't get me wrong, but yeah, other than that, he's been busting his tail. If you can get it because he's a rabbit, like his bushy tail. No, okay, but anyway, so I think, what was the Last of Us release date? I remember seeing the release date somewhere.
May 9th, I think.
I think it was June, wasn't it? Like, didn't they give it to June?
No, the last I saw it was still in May.
Yeah, hold on. I actually got. If somebody knows that, let me know, so that way I can actually. I'm gonna take a look at the release date here, so I can actually look this up here right now.
May 29th.
Said May 29th. Okay, so So it said it had been delayed. So it said it was delayed due to the excuse me, the coronavirus. But so yeah, so it says May 29th. So if hopefully it gets released on that day.
Hopefully.
Hey, puns are terrible. Yeah, I have terrible puns. I know. But anyways, so
Pug the punless.
a pun full of pugs. But are you hyped up for this though, Penguin? I don't think I asked you this, but I'm pretty sure you're hyped up as much as everybody else is.
I'll let you know after I watch the trailer.
All right, so yeah, definitely give me a shout like via DM or something. And actually, going back to the off-topic part, I wanted to mention at least something too. You've been working on a Zamazenta drawing. So how's that coming along?
It's coming. I've got a few more tweaks I want to make to it, and then I'll start my stage 3 process, which is getting it colored in and then putting it on Photoshop, and then stage 4 is a background for
yeah, you definitely need to share that, so I can definitely retweet it there.
Yeah, but for right now, I think it looks like it's going to turn out pretty good.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. So definitely follow at Penguin here on Twitter if you guys want to see that. Shout out, I'm happy for you that you're avoiding the spoilers. So I'm really happy that you're hyped up for it and that you're avoiding spoilers. Yeah, so if you want, like I said, if you guys want to avoid Last of Us 2 spoilers, you know, all power to you. Go for it. And if you want to see the trailer, don't care, like I said, more power to you. You have that choice. Whatever choice you make, you decide that choice. You make it better. You make that choice.
And knowing's half the battle. G.I. Joe.
Okay, so on that note, so, we were speaking of Nintendo stuff. We were just talking about this earlier. I am in the game, absolutely. You are so correct. Absolutely correct, 100%. I've been exposed. All right, so I wanted to get to some Nintendo Switch stuff that I actually read online as of lately, which it involves some lifetime sales, and of course the other one, it will probably involve Animal Crossing. I'll get to that here in a couple minutes or so. So this is probably one of the most extreme stats like I've seen for the Nintendo Switch. So lifetime sales of the Switch, which debuted on March 3rd, 2017, is now 55.77 million larger like consoles sold worldwide, more than the GameCube and the Nintendo 64 combined for all the consoles sold. So that tells you one thing, though. The Switch outselling the GameCube and the 64 lifetime. That's history making right there. That is huge. Which goes to show you guys, Nintendo's kind of pulling all the stops here, except for the Joy-Con issues, which people are still kind of having. Which I kind of read this on online a little bit. Like the Joy-Con drift issue might exceed to the Red Ring of Death. Like it might exceed to the point it might be worse than that, because people got to suffer through that.
Yeah. Digital.
Is that actually what you're doing right now?
Mm-hmm.
You're just watching an old badly dubbed kung fu film.
No, like listening to you in party chat, because that's real time, but the stream is delayed.
Yeah.
So it doesn't match up with you talking. It's like watching an old dubbed kung fu film where they're trying to dub it.
Oh yeah, that's no question. That's basically what this podcast is all about. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Is making console sales the only one that flopped? Was
yeah, the Wii U did. Kind of flop a little bit. I think the only good games that were on the Wii U was obviously Mario Maker. I think Wind Waker HD was the other one, and Twilight Princess HD. But I see Matt Man's in the chat. Said he'd be on in a few, but that's fine. But yeah, like I said, Matt, just take care of your business, dude. That's all I can tell you. And if it happens, it happens. Then if you can make it, yeah, he'll definitely make it on for sure. But anyways, let me
Time out.
here, let me get to another news story here, Nintendo wise, really quick. So I wanted to share this out with everybody. So I want to talk about some Animal Crossing stuff, and Matt's probably gonna hate me when I say this, but oh well, it's just news. I got to bring the news. So basically, what happened in 6 weeks' time with despite Animal Crossing's release, it has outsold all of the PlayStation 4's best exclusives that include Uncharted 4, Spider-Man, God of War, The Last of Us Remastered, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Gran Turismo Sport, which is absolutely insane. Which, a game like Animal Crossing just absolutely just everybody just goes in and just bam, easy. Just like easy money.
Crossing, I think what went in its favor, of course, was everybody having to be stuck at home. I mean, it was going to sell good anyway, but I think people being stuck at home and just wanting something leisurely they could play with family or something.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much put it over the top.
And like we were saying this like a couple weeks ago, even like, non-gamers are actually playing Animal Crossing too, which kind of increases the numbers a little bit as well.
Yep. Now on to wrestling. No,
no, but I'm actually super excited though. And actually I was reading that people were saying that with all the new content they've been adding, towards the game, it could be possible, in a way, that it could be a contender for Game of the Year. But to me it's possible, but because you have all these games the remakes and also the backlog, it's basically 2020's become the year of the remakes and the backlog, definitely for sure. But for originality, I think Animal Crossing could be in there, but like I said, you got to compete with games like The Last of Us 2, which we were talking about basically earlier in the show. And Nintendo hasn't really been, except for they actually have games that have been ported on the Switch for games of the year. They've been ported, obviously Overwatch and The Witcher, and Breath of the Wild's obviously, well, that's Nintendo's first party, so that's basically a game of the year on that also. So they've been doing their best to try to get their games on there. And I feel like, to me, with Animal Crossing, maybe I could see it maybe being a fan community game of the year or a family friendly game of the year, or just family game of the year period. Which, if it gets a game of the year candidate, I would be shocked. That would be insane if that happened. Do you see this? Do you see it that way also, or what's your take on it?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much along the same lines. Not much I can add to that one.
Yeah, so everybody's gonna lose their minds when if Animal Crossing becomes a candidate for Game of the Year, which and I'm saying this for originality too. Matt's will have to mention The Last of Us too. Yeah, we'll definitely. I want your thoughts on that too. Yeah, you'll have to. You have a lot to share, Matt. I already know you're itching to get on. Because usually
whiskey, they'll pass right out and then get online.
I mean, he's got to get it done. But honestly, Matt, you are the man. You're the man, the myth, the legend.
You're the goat. He's not a goat.
He's not a goat, though. He is not the goat. Poor guy. But anyways, I mean, do you see a remake possibly getting Game of the Year this year for 2020, despite the whole coronavirus pandemic that's kind of delayed games for I would say the past couple of weeks, months maybe. So what? How do you see this? How do you see this?
I don't see a remake getting it. If a remake does get it, and let's say it's based on popularity, sales, or what have you, obviously Animal Crossing's beat every game so far in sales.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that would be fair to developers of Animal Crossing if theirs doesn't get some kind of an award for most sales or something. But then the problem I have with remakes winning awards when you have new games coming out is all they did was they took a game from the past, gave it better graphics, but didn't change anything in the game and just re-released it.
Yeah, and everybody was kind of like, was complaining. There was like a couple people complaining about Resident Evil 2. Obviously, that was up for Game of the Year last year, along with like Smash Brothers and all those other games that were up there. They were saying that they deserved to win because, you know, how beautiful the graphics were and all that. I mean, like you were saying though earlier, you know, it just, they took a game from the past, they kind of remastered it in like, you know, Unreal Engine HD graphics, and then bam, they put it into a masterpiece video game. So,
yeah.
What can you do?
A separate I would say what they need to do is a separate category for Game of the Year, where one is new games of the year and remake game of the year.
Oh, okay.
So
that's
way
not a bad idea.
It's even to where like all the remakes that are coming out, which don't get me wrong, the graphics are way better than what they were.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah.
For
solid.
them to bump out a brand new game that's never been released, that has done so well just because somebody liked the remake better, that was a judge or something, I don't think it's fair to the new one. So I would say have two separate categories, like remake game of the year and new game of the year, and that should please most of the people. Because for that 2%.
Yeah. So sorry, I had to clip that just because it was such an excellent point. I never thought about that. So that's actually that was very good insight, Penguin. I'm actually proud that you mentioned that. That would be, if the community would just listen and just say, you know, put an old, like a, you know, remake category into that, then maybe people would stop bitching and moaning about that, you know? I don't know. Maybe that's just us, but hot diggity damn. Why did
that's something that my late granddad used to say all the time.
Oh,
that's
something
got him excited. He's like, "Well, hot diggity damn!"
You said that in the most redneck voice ever.
Well, he was a redneck.
I mean, it makes sense. Like hot diggity damn. That's gonna be like a new meme now. It's just gonna be hot diggity.
Well, hot diggity damn. Where's my Snickers?
I don't know, because maybe you're a biatch when you're hungry. So, I don't know if it. I mean, Final Fantasy VII does look amazing, but I wouldn't say it's like Game of the Year, like candidate. I mean, it will be up there. Because I feel like everybody and their mother's going to have Final Fantasy Remake, Resident Evil 3 Remake. You know, I mean, all those are good, don't get me wrong, but like I said, it's just...
If be Game of the Year with remakes, then I'm going to put a Zombie Chronicles map for Remake of the Year or something.
My God.
Just, like, stuff you've already had, that heck, Biohazard, they remade for the PS4 and the Xbox S or X to have the new Unreal Engine graphics. So why not put them up for Game of the Year and stuff like that? I mean, come on. You have so many remakes. It will take away from the people that worked hard to produce a brand new, original, thought-processed game to where it's like, yeah, they did it to bring entertainment to people, but the same token, just like somebody that makes a movie or does a comic book, you're looking forward to you being that new guy that gets invited for an award possibility, but this guy that's already been in the game system, and all they did was remake the graphics, you get bumped out because of somebody just basically put, sorry women, but let's say you're like 50-year-old woman, you go and get a bunch of plastic surgery, so now you look like a 30-year-old. It's the same idea.
Yeah, so basically it's just
made an old game look a lot better, so everybody's like, ooh, and they want it. But
and they know it's going to make a lot of money.
Game.
And they know it's going to make a lot of money, though, too. That's the other thing we're going to mention. Because anything that's full of popularity, instant seller, no matter what it is. Even though if it's in the past or the present, you know, remake, you know, what. And they were talking about the same thing with Nintendo, the Switch and the Super Mario remakes, you know, because of Mario's, you know, 35-year anniversary, too. If we were talking about that, like, I think a couple of weeks ago. But, honestly, I would see either, if it did happen, like with the whole Super Mario 64, Mario Galaxy, Mario Sunshine, you know, whatever Mario the case may be for the Mario's 35th anniversary, like, if they're gonna remaster that, like, at least like make it like a Mario Direct or something, where they just like, well, then again, Nintendo's been, well, I know apart from the coronavirus, like Nintendo's been kind of like bad as of well, not really bad, but like they can kind of like, working like in the shadows just for like dropping like, direct minis out of nowhere. I wouldn't be surprised if they did something like for like Mario or Pokemon or Animal Crossing, Zelda, whatever the case may be. And then obviously if they drop those trailers like in one whole mini direct, like just have it, announced, then people will definitely lose their minds for sure. I mean, so people definitely lose their minds off remakes also.
Yeah, well, that's like the thing though, which I know that they don't listen to a lot of fans, especially since they're coming from Japan. But like Mario 64, where they're wanting to remake that one or remaster it, I still say the best thing they should do for that one is add hidden levels that you have to do, like Easter egg stuff, kind of like in Zombies, to get to, and make it a hunt. Because right now, yeah, people are enjoying Warzone, they're enjoying the Battle Royale games. But,
well, Battle Royale's the new and now for like all kids
but
now.
The thing is, though, even with that, I have seen so many people that made comments while they're playing Battle Royale games. How many times they've said, and you and I have heard them too while playing with them, I miss hunting.
Oh, even without all the data mines and all that, and the exploits.
They're like, I miss Easter egg hunting. So if you put that in a Mario game, people will be on the Easter egg hunt forever. They'll be trying to solve.
Yeah.
I think it'll be bigger than a Zombies Easter egg hunt. I really do if they did it.
Oh, and I actually remember that the DS version for Super Mario 64, when they remade it for the DS, it actually had a couple more levels than Super Mario 64 on the Nintendo 64, where you actually had to. Obviously, they had Mario, Luigi, Yoshi. You started out with Yoshi, was actually. It was so original. You had to actually rescue all the other three characters. Like, obviously, you got to rescue Luigi, Mario, and then also Wario also. And then you had, like, these bosses you had to beat to free them. So, that was pretty creative.
Yeah. Well, everybody knew you were going to have to rescue the princess.
Well, yeah. And with Super Mario 64, it took the 2D platforming out of the picture and took, just a Mario game into 3D where it's like, oh, you jump into paintings just to collect power stars. That blew everybody's minds way back when. That just like, it just, even it blew my mind too.
Yeah, and it's funny if you look back, like a lot of the games back then, and people like, oh, these graphics are awesome, and then you look at the graphics we have now, it's like, how did we think that was cool at that time?
Well, actually, I can name like a game, one of my favorite games of all time. Actually, it might be my actual favorite game of all time, with the graphics of it just way ahead of its time. And Ocarina of Time, we were discussing about this, way back when. Those graphics, when it got released for the N64, when I played it, oh my god, those graphics were just like, this should be like a next-gen console or something, because it was just so good. It actually is still good. It's like one of those games where it's like fine wine. It doesn't age at all. And I'm actually not trying to be funny, though. I'm actually being serious on that. That's what I can compare Zelda Ocarina of Time to. It's just basically fine wine. It never ages, and it's still a classic to play no matter what. Like, even if you're in the year like 2030 something, it's basically one of the best games of all time, at least for me.
It just gets a lot better with age.
Exactly. That's exactly what I mean.
Yeah, you kept saying it's like a fine wine. It doesn't age. Like, oh no, it ages. It just gets better with age.
Oh yeah, that's basically what fine wine is. But oh man,
I think,
so
if I remember, like there was somebody they found, like I want to say it was a home. They found an old forgotten wine cellar that I guess the door because back then I think people like. Had the flush wine cellar door, so people didn't realize they had a wine cellar.
Oh, for sure.
And they discovered it, and they found like a 300-year-old bottle of wine, and it was one of those wines that the longer it sits, the better it's going to be when you pop it open.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that one bottle in U.S. currency was worth like $200,000.
That's insane. Where did the bottle come from?
It was some French winery that, I mean, it got destroyed during like World War I or something like that.
Oh,
it's
so
been sitting down there.
Yeah, it was just sitting down there just for like collecting dust or something, or take it to Pawn. Yeah. Well, actually, Pawn Stars. I don't think Pawn Stars is even a thing now anymore. Dude,
yeah. Well, this was a house overseas. I think it was on the outskirts of France or something like that.
Yeah. So then somebody bought it to America.
They renovate it, and then they're like, "Dang, this floor feels weird." So they found the door, and downstairs was a bunch of old wine bottles because they didn't know how to winery. And then it's like, "Damn, these things are worth some money."
Yeah, I mean, definitely any antiques is worth a lot of money nowadays too. But like I said,
yeah, I wouldn't recommend that, Shadow.
I don't know why I was laughing at that, but I was. But alrighty. So, anyways, I want to
like a fine wine. Police called for a murder. Cause of death: COVID.
Yeah, pretty much. But another thing I wanted to mention here. We're gonna move on here. So, getting to some sports topics here. And the big announcement was some wrestling, sports. Well, not really sports, but sports entertainment. You know, whatever. There's been, I think they actually leaked this. They actually did leak it, I think. So Becky Lynch is pregnant. That is the actual news. Somebody actually leaked it online. They said that Becky was going to have some sort of big, huge announcement, and they already leaked online that they said that Becky. And you were actually saying like 85% of the time, like whenever a female athlete comes on to say this, most of the time they're going to be pregnant. And Penguin actually hit it though, so I think it's more than likely Becky Lynch is pregnant with a child. So she is currently she's currently the
making like that much money doing that, and then we have a surprise big announcement. You know, she's pregnant. She's going to leave. I mean, it's like. You don't just up and have a surprise big announcement about your career, and it's like, well, if you're deciding to leave and you're making millions of dollars, you're probably pregnant.
Yeah, so I was just mentioning she is the Raw Women's Champion, but how are they going to play this out though? When is she going to relinquish the title? So I bet you more than likely, like Asuka was the winner of the Money in the Bank.
I think they'll probably let her hold the title until after time where she can come back and defend it.
I think she's got to relinquish it though, no matter what. If something like that happens, she's got to relinquish it. Like with injury, personal stuff.
I mean, if she's like going to leave entirely and never come back, then yes. But this is one thing with sports, especially women's sports, I've never agreed with. If you get pregnant and you have to leave the sport, but let's say you're a fighter, wrestler. So they say, well, if you don't come back to defend your title, then you're just going to lose it. I don't think that's fair to them because now you're basically making them choose, you know, if it's close and they're not showing, risking the baby's life so they can just defend the title. Just prolong it. Like, we'll still let this person go forward to try and get their own title. But then when that person has done their maternity leave and everything and wants to come back, then have an ultimate bout to decide the overall person who actually gets to keep the title. They're like, don't take it from them just because they're having a baby. Let them still have the title, but let this other person or other individuals go for a title, and then when they can come back if they want to come back, then have ultimate return bout, title holder versus title holder, and the winner is the one that actually overall will have the title.
All right, Matt just joined in, so you want to chime in on this too? I know you've been itching to talk about it. You actually saw Money in the Bank last night, so...
Yeah, it was, in regards to relinquishing that title, that's kind of a thing that they have in that business, no matter if it's injury or not. That's just because they need to have the Moneymaker title for the women's division be defended, so you have to relinquish it. And if you think about it, she will not only be gone for like 9 months, but she'll be gone for probably more than that. And that's a long time to go with an inactive champion, and just based on what I've been kind of looking into, originally the plan was that she was going to face off against the Money in the Bank winner, basically have a little like a stare down with them and talk some smack and all the typical thing, and get probably into a heated altercation as usual. But as the reports started leaking a little more about her being pregnant, that the thought was, well, she's just going to relinquish the title, and some people were thinking that part of it was relinquish the title, give it to Asuka, because she won Money in the Bank, which I think is kind of stupid because Money in the Bank is you cash in and you earn that title shot. It doesn't mean you get the title, because if that's the case, then that kind of like lessens the Money in the Bank. Then at that point, if the people that were competing in it before, they probably would feel jaded if they were in that Money in the Bank contest, they were slated to lose, and all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, by the way, newsflash, the one who just won, she gets the title for free. See, that's not fair. That would piss off talent, where they're thinking, okay, what in the hell was this plan? I didn't sign up for this. So, I think she's going. She's probably going to vacate the title because she has to be inactive. This is kind of a loose clause that they have, that if you're inactive for a certain amount of time as a champion, that you have to relinquish the title. But which is weird. You gotta say it's loosely because Brock Lesnar breaks that rule every single time he's a champion, and they let it go because he's the moneymaker for Vince. So it's kind of a very loose rule that they have.
You weren't really happy though with the Money in the Bank result, from what I've saw and read online.
No, it was completely stupid. And the only thing I laughed at was some of the comic relief they had in the middle of the match. It was almost like the Boneyard match, where it was almost like a live motion picture with music, no commentary, but it had some humor. So Taker and Styles were the serious bar fight like thing, and they kind of teased that a little bit during the match,
like the Sons of Anarchy kind of fight, as somebody mentioned before in the past. Yeah,
and so AJ Styles, every time he saw a picture of Undertaker, he like froze and looked scared, and then he opened another door, and it was a room with a coffin in it with the purple lights and everything. He got freaked out and he got locked in the room for a minute. And he started having an aneurysm in the room. He's like, no. So, but they had some comic relief in there, like Otis eating a turkey sandwich and then causing a food fight, like in a certain classic movie we all know.
Animal House.
Yeah, and so Paul Heyman got something in his face, and they basically brought comic relief. But the thing that was the ultimate meme on social media with the men's event is when they were on the roof.
When they were on the roof, and then Baron Corbin threw off Rey Mysterio
and then Aleister Black.
And then all of a sudden,
hey,
they're just fine the next day. Nothing really happened. That was just.
But
it was so stupid.
People. They were scaring people. Well, you can clearly hear when Aleister Black gets thrown. You hear his feet hit something, so it's like like he fell on it. And they do the wide pan view, and anybody with half a brain could see, oh, okay, so he's went over the bushes under that side of the roof. It just never came back to sell the whole throwing off the roof thing.
It was so dumb.
It was stupid.
Why did they even put
the result was so... the result made sense.
I don't know why, but just y'all talking about it, all of a sudden the song Up on a Roof just popped in my head.
Oh my gosh.
I just got this image now of them singing Up on a Roof and he's throwing him off.
I don't understand the result, though. I really don't. Why give Otis, a tag team wrestler, the freaking Money in the Bank contact? Why? I mean, I understand he's like the flavor of the month with Mandy Rose getting in the big kiss on WrestleMania and all that with the bombshell blonde and Mandy Rose, but come on, Otis, really?
Otis. He's the man, the myth, the legend.
So basically, the ending
partner Cletus.
Yeah, the ending to that match was like it was AJ Styles at the top with Baron Corbin. You're thinking, okay, AJ's got to get it because Baron, he's already been twice and screwed it up twice. So he drops the briefcase right into Otis's hands. I'm thinking, damn it! I wish Aleister Black would have Black Mass kicked Otis in the face and grabbed the thing out when it's in the air. Because if anybody deserves it, he does. He really deserves it. Same thing with Shayna with her side, but whatever. It's debatable.
Well, I can see it now. They do that, and then you're gonna have that one person sitting at the house. Well, hot diggity damn!
Oh yeah.
Hot diggity damn! That's gonna be the new meme on the pug community now.
This is really telling. When I would have rather have seen freaking Baron Corbin get the Money in the Bank than see Otis get it. That's telling you a lot. The most annoying.
With
wrestler.
Baron Corbin, you can actually make something work with that. Like the annoying guy actually trying to. Plus, he lost it. I think. What was it? He lost his Money in the Bank match with.
He He tried to cash in on Roman Reigns and lost.
No, it was Jinder Mahal. So.
Oh yeah, because what's his face came in and I think Randy Orton RKO'd him or something.
Yeah,
like that.
or it was something to do with that. But yeah, maybe have like a revenge storyline and like that would make sense in a way.
Yeah, it was disappointing to say the least. I mean, yeah, not really a fan of Money in the Bank last night.
I mean, some parts did kind of make you laugh though a little bit.
Yeah, like the what's that guy's name? The dude that has like the really like the white and red suit, and he always has like the most tannest of faces. I can't remember his character name though.
Oh, the white
something Love. Like it wasn't Dude Love, but it's something else.
Dude Love. Yeah, I was gonna say it's not unless McFoley came out of retirement.
No, then it's
One
funny.
of his
They
three...
had a couple of those gimmicks come out. I love the one where they go into Vince's conference room. That one had me, because it's like for a minute they're beating each other up, and then Vince is just like looking at them with that death stare, like, and he says, "Get out!" So they're like neatly putting the chairs back together in his conference room, then leave.
Shadow was saying that John Cena interfered and Jinder got the roll up, so that's what.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, thank you for that though.
But that was pretty funny. Where they're talking to each other right after, and then start beating each other up again. They're going like, "You were such a coward in there, man. You see how you went back in there and didn't mess with the chair." It's like, what are you talking about, man? And all of a sudden they start going, bah! Start beating each other up again. Like that was kind of an awkward moment.
At least with the whole coronavirus pandemic, the WWE actually can kind of give them credit a little bit. Like the no audience thing, at least with my opinion, I feel like that's actually a lot more entertaining than it is with an actual audience, you know?
Because it sells the story more.
It does.
It really does. Because like with Drew McIntyre's event where he won, he actually was telling Seth Rollins, "Be a man, shake my hand," because he was giving him props for put him through hell in that match.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was just like, as he's at the top of the entrance ramp, he's like, "You're a good wrestler, Seth, but I'm better." It's so good. But
just that that Scottish accent. It's just kind of makes you want to listen to it. I don't know what it is with Scottish accents though. It makes you want to tune in more. I don't know. That's just me. But anyways, moving on here. So, thank you. That was thank you for that. So Major League Baseball. I want to get to some news there too. So they're supposedly approving the MLB season proposal for the July start. So we went from late June to possibly at this moment early July. So everybody in the major leagues and the owners, they're going to try to get together, and they're actually going to try to get the seasons going at least to 80 games, and just to have it to be, I would say, without an actual audience, or have baseball games without crowds. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. So, due to coronavirus reasons. So. I know I'm kind of a sucker for baseball. I miss it. Everybody misses baseball. Baseball is America's pastime. I know I'm sad too, but
we're just wiping the tears away. That's why we're not talking.
I know it's bad, but
just like being an Angels fan.
He just walked up. He just turned off the mic. He just heard and then just heard him walk out. Oh my god!
Sorry about that. My microphone got unplugged at the most hilarious time. I'm like, well, that's ironic.
I thought you would have just stormed out the room.
No.
So we have 80 games extended. So the extended postseason. And then 3 divisions. So basically you could have but Shadow's basically saying, he's got a good point though, so he could have an NL World Series or AL World Series, and then the winner of that can go on to the actual World Series. Well, then in the end they kind of do. It's called the NLCS and ALCS, but like I said, what do you guys think of the baseball started in July? So Matt, you're the bigger baseball fan here, so I'm kicking it off with you.
I'm not a fan of the two World Series if they do that. That's just really weird. It's like World Series Champion Light is what it is, honestly.
Except that it's not Nintendo Switch Lite, it's the World Series Light. It's like the name of a beer,
Not as many
kind of.
calories.
But yeah,
It's like a light beer. Think of it that way.
it's a light championship. It's a semi.
It's an acquired taste, you know. It
Buzz
really
Light
is.
beer, you pitch.
Buzz Light beer. Buzz Light beer. That's a really good play on name. I like that. That's pretty funny.
Well, yeah. What would you think about that though? A baseball games, but without crowds though.
Give me just 1 sec. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Penguin.
All right, Penguin. Oh, Penguin's kicking it off then. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I could see them doing it because they're worried about the virus, but I still think by the time July rolls around, August and so on, as more time goes by and more information about this virus is definitely going to be known by then, I think you're going to see a lot of stuff go back to normal where people are going to be able to go to sporting events to a limited amount of people in the stands versus a full-on like fan base in there and so on. So for right now, I see them saying that's probably what it's going to be, but I still think that it's going to get back to where a minimum amount of fans can actually be in the stadium to enjoy the game too.
Mm-hmm. At least have, like, in my opinion, I would have like at least some of the. It's like with well, not really with WWE, but like I would say do it with I would say with just say like what AEW does, just have like a couple people, cheer on their teams and all that. Mm-hmm. And maybe just have maybe you could probably do it like a crowd, but have them like separated from each other. Just like if you have like one section of the people like on one side and vice versa, and have them on the other side,
Or I mean, something else they could do to kind of like help people feel that they're a part of the game or at the game is have for those that might have like a VR setup or something they can watch at home, have a fan that will live stream it with like say the GoPro on their head or something. So it's kind of like they'll have them like one beside first baseline, third baseline, home plate, and center field and the outfield, and then of course one on either side of the other fields. So if anybody wants to see what it'd be like to sit front row and watch the game as if they were actually there, they can just tune into that camera's number where the fan is actually watching it, just like if they were there. That'd be to me, I think that would be kind of an interesting thing.
Okay, solid. So Matt, step right up to the plate, dude. You're up.
Sorry, when you live in a certain location without being alone, you tend to have people ask you questions in the middle of podcasts.
Well, have them ask questions on here.
I know. I'm like, you have a question for me? Why don't you just ask Kyle the Pug? And you're like,
yeah. Well, just if you're listening to the podcast,
Matt is on a podcast. Get the hell out.
Get your ass out of my face. Okay, Bill. Not to my mom. Come on. Okay, so kind of getting back to both points here. The World Series Light thing, I wouldn't be digging that. The West Coast thing, pretty interesting. The biggest question, though, that I think is really going to delay this process, I know is with the union, with the players, is that there's quite a few that have they need absolute assurance that there is going to be a plan in place for if somebody does contract coronavirus, because there are a lot of players that have a really weak immune system. I know John Lester was as a cancer survivor. Anthony Rizzo, I think, has some kind of condition. Not sure what it is. Kenley Jansen has a heart condition. Dodger, as a Dodger fan. So I think that's.
I think it was like
hurdle.
For a year and a half now.
Yeah, it's very creative though. I'll give him that. It's an extremely creative thought. I like it. I'm not a fan of the 2 World Series, but I know you're kind of limited with the coronavirus. But that I would think that could change if this coronavirus finally goes away.
Well, here's hoping.
Yeah, here's hoping since March.
That is true.
The idea that Penguin said, that's actually really cool. I know MLB.com could pull that off because during the postseason, they do have the capability. They have different camera angles, so if you can't afford to actually watch the game on the app via your cable provider, they have a thing called dual camera angle, where you can have one thing open and have a bunch of different angles of the cameras open and choose which one you want to watch.
Okay.
It's just not a live camera action thing, but it's pretty cool though. So I mean, they could do what Penguin was proposing, where they could have, hey, you can have somebody at home watching from like the front row, like somebody's actually there to kind of experience it like they're there. So that would be a nice little way in case people are still freaked out after the coronavirus has subsided. They're still, about maybe it's still there, there are some of those people like that. But yeah, I agree that
and then you have those cuckoo birds that go out and just say like, oh, there is no such thing as coronavirus, and they can do whatever they want, and then all of a sudden that happens. But
those damn Democrats, man, I'll tell you.
Actually, no. They're just cuckoo in general. They're just cuckoo birds in general. They're not like, it doesn't matter what. Okay, well, like I said, it doesn't matter what side you're on, but no political.
It doesn't matter what side you're on.
Yeah, there's just cuckoo birds out there.
With the thun.
All right, but anyways, I've been seeing the Dodgers on Twitter and Facebook. Not Facebook. Well, actually, yeah, kind of Facebook too, because they have their social media on Facebook. Yeah, because that Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, they're actually doing simulation game. Well, not simulation games. They're actually live streaming baseball games that they could have played, this season, and they're having somebody take. I guess they're going against, the team that they're playing against online, like a representative of that team. That's actually kind of creative, though, in the way that what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's not just with the Dodgers, and the Giants and all that, but it's just like every single team is doing it too.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's a really unique way of doing it. And we kind of joked about it, where we were saying, like, why do you have this guy representing your team? It should be the star of the team representing, but I guess they're just not into gaming at all.
Well, I mean, if they want to practice, I guess that's one thing, but if you have somebody that's into gaming, that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine.
Exactly, because timing an actual live baseball is exactly like a video game. No, but it's a nice creative. To be all kidding aside, it actually is a really nice escape from the reality that we don't have live baseball. I was literally just saying yesterday at my brother's house that we have nothing to talk about as men because there's no sports around. So it's like, what the hell are we doing with ourselves?
I was actually watching the news. I think it was yesterday. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday because they were talking about well, obviously you know who Carmichael Dave is, obviously, but yeah, they were talking about like a kind of a rundown what he's doing now, like now that there's no sports. So I guess he's kind of like doing his own pod. I didn't really catch all of it, but I guess he was like running his own pod, because I've called him the show before. I know who he is. I mean, no offense. I mean, the guy's kind of weird in a way, but in like a good way. Good kind of weird though. But he's pretty Sacramento heavy though. I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, they've been like running down his setup, like what he does at home now, and it's I guess his engineers. It's kind of funny. Like his engineers like watch his equipment like before he goes on to use it, which kind of makes sense though, because you gotta like everything nowadays. You gotta wash stuff before you do anything. So I mean, like I said, makes sense. But other than that though, it's like at least he's still doing his thing though. So he's trying to come up with creative ways to make sure he keeps his listeners entertained in a way. But yeah, that's just basically what I've been hearing, or I've been seeing on the news as of lately. But on that note, so back to the baseball thing here, real quick. What have your Angels been up to? You gotta explain this to me before Penguin was talking crap on your team.
What do you mean, what are they up to? What do you mean, what are they up to?
Well, yeah, like...
They're losing.
Nothing much. I mean, everybody's losing. There's no baseball.
Well, actually, the fans are losing. The teams aren't actually, losing. It's just the fans are losing.
Hey, they're delaying the recovery process for Ohtani, so by the time the season starts, Ohtani's back on the mound again. There you go.
Well, and they got people recovering from, especially people recovering from Tommy John surgery, too. And any other
Canning has been doing his, the guy who avoided Tommy John is doing his recovery. So he's recovering pretty well, actually, from his right elbow troubles that were really scaring them. So he's 23 years old, too, man. If he had freaking Tommy John, damn, man, that's tough when you're that young.
Yeah, especially especially when you have Tommy John like so young. Like, obviously, it kind of does take effect on you here in the near future. Which is, and even when you're older, too, like, it kind of has the effect on when you're actually really, really old. Not, like, really old, but, like, when you come to the point, like, if you have Tommy John at, say, like, 38, 39 years old, it's going to affect you a lot. Like, it's going to get worse if you get older. But that would be...
It's gonna be worse when you get older, not if you get older.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, thank you. I stand corrected. Thank you. I thought I said when.
If you get older.
If you get older, that's when he gets bad. That's if you get older, not when you get older. Oh, man. But I want to go back to our question of the night here. So I know Matt wasn't here when I was saying this, but he's here now. So what did you do for your mom for Mother's Day?
Oh, we just went to my dad's, or my dad's. We went to, well, that was my dad's. We went to my brother's house. I just saw my dad walk by, that's why I said that. I went to my brother's house. We just kind of hung out for Mother's Day. Pretty casual thing. So nothing too outlandishly big, and that's all my mom really cares about. It's just family. So, gave her exactly what she wanted. Everybody together for Mother's Day.
Well, there you go. Nice. As long as you have the quality family time, that's all that matters.
That's correct.
All right, so now it is our time to bring questions from you guys. This is from everybody who tweeted at me on Twitter questions. So we're going to have our first question. Mountain Guy wants to know, have you seen the latest episode of The Last Dance, and what are your thoughts on it? I actually did watch the last 2 episodes of The Last Dance, and I never thought about this until just recently. Michael Jordan gets pissed off really easily, I've noticed. Like, even when he competed. No, I'm serious. Like, Michael Jordan was, he was super competitive. Like, he wanted to be the best basketball player on the planet, and whatever, I don't know what part it was. I don't remember what it was exactly, but I noticed that he gets pissed super easily. I mean, he really does have a short fuse in a way. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but
if you ever know somebody who's
the more you know,
really super competitive, it always seems like they have a short fuse, but it's not that they get angered easily. They get more so they get frustrated, because having actually played sports growing up, I can say that people would say, "Why were you so angry?" I was like, I wasn't angry. I was frustrated because I wanted that win so bad, or I wanted to get that goal or something like that. Mm-hmm. So now, are there times when, yes, he actually was very pissed off? Yes, but majority of the time when you see him do something on the court, it's not out of being mad at somebody, it's at being frustrated because he wanted to get the win, he wanted to get the basket, he wanted to get the block, and he didn't get it, or one of his teammates messed up and they didn't get it, and it ticked him, and it frustrated him to where it's like, I know we could have done better, we played better than this. So all of a sudden everything's crumbling, and it frustrates him to the point where he does actually move from being frustrated to being pissed off at them, especially if they try to act like they didn't do anything wrong, when obviously we can go back on playback and watch, see, here's right here, this is where you suck.
And actually, I was just going to mention that I think the biggest part out of all that is, the whole TV show, it doesn't just revolve around Michael Jordan, which I actually do like, because it actually talks to other people, such as, Phil Jackson, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman. It even goes to, other basketball players in the 90s, like Patrick Ewing, Reggie Miller, Gary. They actually had Gary Payton on, because they were the episode, I think they were going against the Seattle Supersonics, and I think it was 96 when they had the NBA Finals, where they had that, 72-win year, which... the Sonics, I remember the Sonics almost came back, and they kind of almost evened it up a little bit, but the Bulls had to win in 6 games, which, obviously the Bulls steamrolled everybody in the Eastern Conference, back in 96, and they were up 3-0, and everybody thought, oh, this is the greatest team, this is going to be a sweep, and then somebody, I actually was watching, the Sonics said, we got some tricks up our sleeve, and I actually do remember this. Matt, do you remember who the coach... I'm going to ask Matt if he remembers this, because this kind of boggled my mind a little bit. Do you remember who the coach was back in 96 for the Seattle Supersonics in the finals? I forgot about this.
think it was George Karl, wasn't it?
It was George Karl. I forgot about that. And when he had Sean Kemp and Gary Payton, I forgot that team was just absolutely nuts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were, them and the Jazz, man, they were actually, I think they're the only contention for the Bulls, and like, for a good portion of that Bulls run. It's, gosh, just to think about what would have happened if Michael didn't go to baseball for that year. Like, damn, dude. That would have been ridiculous.
I remember that same
franchise.
year though too. He really wanted to beat the Orlando Magic so bad because he couldn't stand Horace Grant being on the other team for the Orlando Magic. That's when he knew he wanted to concentrate and just be, he wanted to sweep that team so badly. And of course, like I said, when he had Penny Hardaway and Shaquille O'Neal on that same squad too, which that goes to show you, like, he wanted to go back. And somebody said that this was really on point too. He was only 85% of himself and not 100% of himself because he was getting out of those baseball workout modes.
I think the notable names on that Sonics team, Gary Payton obviously and Sean Kemp were the bread and butter of it. But I remember Hersey Hawkins back in his heyday. He was on that team too. Detlef Schrempf too, the guy who I always called the Shrimp. And Eric Snow was just starting his career. I mean, he wasn't an all-star player, but he was a notable role player with the 76ers and years later when they had AI. But that was a pretty decent squad. It wasn't any slouch over, to see the least. I mean, their performance said otherwise, but
90s basketball was basically the golden age of basketball.
It was just basically everyone was a Bulls fan. I was
still a Lakers fan way back when, even when Jordan was still on the Bulls. So that's my dedication. That was my dedication way back when.
The Sonics' record that year, though, was incredible. They were 64-18. They were completely dominant that year. I mean, they finished first in the Pacific, and probably first overall in the Western Conference, and they ended up facing the powerhouse Bulls. I mean, they earned being in the championship that year. But I kept thinking that they never won a championship, but I guess, didn't they win in 79? The Sonics did?
I don't remember. It's been a long time, but I will look it up here right afterwards.
I think overall they've won 3 championships though. Excuse me, no. They've got 3. I think they got 3 Western Conference titles, but then only one of those 3 was an actual NBA championship. I'll have to look at who they faced though. But
Seattle needs a basketball team again. That's all I need to. Every time I hear Seattle basketball team, I think of the clip with Elias and Kevin Owens. Are like, because Seattle needs a basketball team. It's like having basketball fans at the end. They start booing them for 5 minutes straight. Was probably one of the greatest things I've ever seen in a long time.
Yeah, they did. They beat the team called the Washington Bullets at that point back in '79. Shoot, I guess they did win.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, so I'm actually pretty excited for the next few episodes of that. So I'll definitely bring my thoughts on that when we can. So Dark Shadow wants to know what are your thoughts on the MLB 80 game season and the extended postseason? Like I said, like we mentioned before, I mean, it would make sense for 80 games just to split it up. But like Matt was saying, the 2 World Series thing, just keep it to the normal playoff stat, but extend I believe the division round series to 4 games instead of just the usual first to 3. That's how I would see it.
True. Right. I mean, I've already put my take in on that particular thing, so that's I can't really elaborate more.
So like I said, that's how I would see it, though.
Commercial. True.
True.
It's true. Right. It's damn true. Oh my god. Would Kyle the Pug simp to Mercy from Overwatch? First of all, why do people use the word simp? That's number 1. Is that short for simpleton? I never understood that.
I don't understand it myself.
I'm old. I guess you can. I don't know. It's just even words millennial and boomer. It's just I don't understand people sometimes. Okay, let me rephrase the question. Would I marry Mercy from Would I marry Mercy from Overwatch? Yes, I would. I'll just throw it out there.
Isn't that mean a man puts himself in a submissive position?
I-
like some kind of a sexual thing.
I swear,
It's-
people make up words just to see if you'll say yes to it.
Yeah, it's like
I mean, it's just I can't follow internet lingo anymore. It's just I've pretty much lost all faith at this point.
we need a dictionary to figure it out.
Here, I'm actually gonna.
Shut up, Bill.
Well, I actually want to look. I'm kind of curious. I actually do want to look this word up. Okay, so
I'm thinking something about missionary position. I mean, MP. That's basically what that means. I'm like, that
all right,
is so disgusting.
Okay, so what's a simp in slang? Okay, hang on. I gotta look this up.
Oh boy.
Okay, a
Cover your children.
simple person lacking common sense, a fool, or okay. So it was okay. So it's kind of half right.
Oh, thank
It was a
God.
simpleton, a man who foolishly overvalues a woman and puts her on a pedestal. What? Where do people come
Wow.
up with this stuff?
So you basically they're
Is that
calling you
before or
whipped.
after you dip her in cement?
Okay, so one way to make fun of the word and the use, you could be a simp for a celebrity, a character on TV, or even a. I don't like the internet anymore. I don't want to.
Are we entertaining this?
Why are we even talking about this? Honestly,
Was that what's his face that you play Overwatch with?
what?
Is that
Who?
Deathslayer? Is that
Oh.
Deathslayer who asked that?
Oh no, it was Shadow. I mean, I didn't say his name,
Oh.
but I didn't. If they send me like more than one question, I probably won't say their name. That's gonna be the the internet's a simp to us. Booyah.
Gosh.
No, but I rephrased the question though. To say if would I marry her? I probably would. I probably would.
Don't marry, it's overrated. You would know, Bill.
You would too. Oh, Bill with the shots right back at you. But
You right.
Marriage is an institution. Just like it.
Just like
So-
Alcatraz, yeah.
final question is: do you think The Last of Us 2 will do well in sales despite everything that was revealed about the game? Oh, no question,
Yes.
100% yes. Because anything with The Last of Us, even in its name, like PlayStation-wise, whatever console it may be, it's gonna make sales no matter what. Despite people complaining about spoilers being in the actual trailer, there's no
Well, I
question
mean,
about that.
If there's
Did they
spoilers
talk
in
about the most
trailer,
controversial thing though? Did you hear about
there
that?
was a bunch, but name one for me.
The most controversial thing, and this is like again, GameStop ruining the world. That the biggest focal point of gameplay in there is centered around dogs. And the worst one, which I know PETA and dog lovers all over the place will not like hearing this, but a big time of it is that the opposition have dogs that can find your scent, and that the only way to survive is to kill them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it wasn't PETA all over that also? Like
Oh yes, since they've heard that.
PETA was even on from
yeah.
Animal Crossing too. They were on that also, like making I just
It's
I
gonna
don't know.
sell though. It
Yes.
will sell. I 100% agree. It's gonna sell. It probably won't be record breaking like Animal Crossing was, but it will sell. I mean, it's the Last of Us
I
franchise.
know that kind of breaks you a little bit saying that, but
I mean, it's facts. It's facts.
it is facts.
People love playing kid games. It's okay.
It's more of a family game now than it is a kid game. But I was talking about this a long time ago, even with Animal Crossing. Like people's girlfriends or boyfriends have been taking over their Switches just to play Animal Crossing, which is insane.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, going back to the question with The Last of Us, Penguin, you agree on this too, obviously. Anything with Last of Us in its name, it's gonna be moneymaker, huge.
Well, my thing is like, as much as people fuss about, oh, there were spoilers. Like, yeah, but you're still gonna buy the damn game and go play it. So shut the hell up.
Yeah, it's like with Pokemon Shield, Black Ops, and Modern Warfare. Even, I mean, sometimes people even still kind of do Overwatch a little bit, even Fortnite for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, people bitch and moan about everything, but like I said, they're still gonna buy it no matter what, because like I said, money is power, basically.
Money talks, bullshit walks.
Exactly, that is absolutely true. So, yeah, but overall, if you guys haven't seen the trailer yet, I would definitely go check that out, because
Pretty good.
it is very, very exciting. You actually did see it though, then. So you actually...
Yeah.
So yeah, what'd you think of it?
It was very good. Very, very violent, though. I mean, my gosh. But
Well,
that's
it's supposed to be violent. Yeah,
Us.
it's supposed to be violent.
Yeah, The Last of Us. That's kind of their selling point, is that it's extremely, violent of a game. I mean, you think about it. If it's like if it's like an apocalypse, and you've got people basically trying to, better each other by getting more supplies than you by killing people, then you kind of have to be violent and just completely just exactly what she's doing, almost to the point of insanity, to survive. That's just human nature, But yeah, they're going to be the, as we mentioned before when we were joking about that in one of your clips on Friday, where politicians will freak out about the violence in video games and that being a big one, and then now PETA's probably going to go, see, they're killing dogs, that's awful. But
they're killing digital dogs.
Yeah, they're killing digital dogs. Oof. So they're going to be the naysayers, of course, as always when a game like that comes out.
Because they're a bunch of idiots.
Exactly. The politicians suck at video games, so they like to complain about them. Just remember that.
Hot diggity damn! I suck at video games. Just combine two phrases in one, and then bam, there you go.
Because they're trash at video games. Also, that's the reason why.
Yeah.
Just like we discussed on before. I still have that clip when your guys' reaction to me saying that. It gets me every time.
Well, that's like I was telling Kyle about watch that Friday the Glitch 10th or something like that.
Yeah, the premiere. If you guys haven't watched that premiere, go check it out. Yeah.
It's like if you're
a cheater and you know, clap your hands.
If you're a cheating little shit.
Oh, if you're
I totally forgot I said that.
Yeah, I do like how your characters were bouncing off the car as you're trying to get in. Jason bounces off the car too.
He's like, boom.
Like, boing, 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 boing. It's like little Tigger trying to get you with an axe.
I think, honestly, Friday the 13th has become the new WWE. It's just it's full of glitches and you don't know what to expect.
Yeah. It's still enjoyable to watch, though, too.
Yeah, and I actually made that.
Your character's pregnant. They have to get out of the game. I mean, come on.
Yeah, she confirmed it, by the way, and to kind of close the book on that particular topic with Becky. Yeah, she did confirm, as expected, she was pregnant, and that the Money in the Bank contract, which I did not want to hear, it happened. She basically called Asuka out to there and said, you weren't really actually fighting for a Money in the Bank contract, because the inside of the briefcase had the Women's Championship inside of it. So Asuka's now the Women's Champion. For Raw. Yeah.
So, well, there you go. But that was kind of expected. That was expected.
Yikes.
All right, so on that note, if you guys want to go check out Batman and Penguinator on their social medias, definitely go do that. So I'm going to start with Matt, obviously. Remind them where they can follow you.
In alphabetical order. Twitter, the Batman98. My Twitch is... The Twitch is... You're so funny. God almighty. That is gross. You do not want to see Batman's Twitter. So... Shut up, Bill. Yeah, youtube.com/thematman98, twitch.tv/thematman98. And the DLive thing, if you really feel like you want to, it's just, dlive.tv/matman98, but I don't really pay attention to that as much. But that's my social media, and of course, if you go to those channels, it has my Discord link in there as well, and if it's expired, let me know, and I'll refresh it.
All right, Penguin?
Alright, for Twitter, it's @Penguinator_01, and for YouTube and Twitch, it's the Penguinator01 with a space between the words. And my Pornhub is Skidmark.
All right, so you guys know my Twitch, you guys know my YouTube, you guys know all my Twitter and my social medias, everything. I do not use Snapchat. I kind of have Instagram. I'm never really on it as much though. Dang. But yeah, I don't use Snapchat. I don't use TikTok. I just don't want to. I mean, I used to have a Snapchat, but then it was just like, nah, it just got old and redundant. I just like, not anymore.
Don't forget, everybody, stay tuned by the end of the year, because we're all just going to go surprise Kyle, kidnap his ass, and make him get out of the house.
And then I'll have COVID-19 confirmed. But on that note, anything else you guys want to add?
2 + 2 is 4.
Okay, and then there it is, chat right there. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Like I said, I know we recorded on Monday. We didn't record Sunday. Not only the fact it was Mother's Day, but I believe that the fact that everybody was had plans, so we kind of just did our own thing. But thank you guys, and we'll try to record on Sunday. But if not, we'll do it like Monday or Tuesday or something. I don't know. But I'll keep you guys posted on Twitter. But again, thank you guys so much. I love you guys. And as always for the Twitch side, I'll see you tomorrow. As for YouTube, I'll see you in the next video. Love you guys. #PugBark. Bye!